There's a big difference between talking and reporting, especially right now with a fire hose worth of news coming your way. You know what helps? Having reporters in the field. I'm Brad Milkey from ABC News, and that's what we've got on ABC's daily podcast, Start Here. Every morning, Start Here takes you across the country and around the world for a quick, smart look at the stories that matter. It's fast, it's straightforward, and sometimes, gasp, news can even be fun. So let's meet up tomorrow morning. Listen to Start Here wherever you get your podcasts.
Today on CityCast Madison. It's the Friday News Roundup. This week, I'm joined by CityCast Madison's Hayley Sperling. A state bill looks to ban race as a consideration for financial aid at UW. UW faces lawsuits from conservative groups and UW employees over diversity programs. And we've got Valentine's Day ideas for next week. It's Friday, February 9th. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Hey! Welcome to the Friday News Roundup. We're on the horizon of the week, and my eyes have been fixed at our skies lately because the sun's out longer, our aerosphere is getting louder, zoom zoom, and love is in the air. As always, a mixed bag. But as the cicada beetles say, all you need is love. Joining me for this here roundup is our newsletter editor and today's love doctor, Hayley Sperling. What's happening?
Hello, love doctor. Oh gosh, I'm not sure about that one, but I'm ready for it.
Yes, we're cosplaying love doctors later in this conversation. But yeah, I've been thinking about the air a lot, specifically the air over the UW system and UW-Madison. I'm assuming it's a little bit more stiff than usual, at least more so than past spring semester starts, because of the attacks on UW's diversity initiatives have not died down. They're coming now from the state legislature and out-of-state conservative groups and employees within the system. So first, I want to talk about the State House has a bill looking to ban race and ethnicity, among other protected statuses, as a consideration for financial aid. This would affect Wisconsin public colleges and universities and the Wisconsin Higher Educational Aids Board. This bill, it's passed through the Assembly along party lines, and it's now in a Senate committee. It just got a hearing last week. And one of the bill's sponsors, Green Bay Republican Senator Eric Wimberger, testified before the Senate Committee on Universities and Revenue in that hearing. And he said the bill's an effort, quote, hopefully to turn the ship a little bit back to a more noble effort of trying to be race neutral, colorblind, and focusing more on individual merit or achievement rather than presuming someone has an inherent quality based on what they look like. From... Yes. Sounds good in some ways, but some context, which we'll talk about. It's strange to hear state Republicans' language around how they're framing this. The state Republicans are being vocal on these measures to, this latest one to, bump race and ethnicity as being a consideration at all. They're using language like it being a noble effort and that there's racial discrimination happening against white students by having programming outlined exclusively for students of color. I guess this is evidence of delivery on what Assembly Speaker Voss said pretty directly at the end of last year after UW Regents signed the budget deal, which was, quote, Republicans know this is just the first step and what will be our continuing efforts to eliminate these cancerous DEI practices on UW campuses. Hayley, thoughts?
Where do we start with this one? Yeah, like you mentioned, the language that they're using here is very interesting and genuinely gives me the ick. Calling this a noble effort makes me really nervous. Like I really don't like that. I really really, really, really don't like that. Like, for some reason, it's giving me like Crusader vibes, you know? And again, like your resident Jewish friend, when someone calls something a noble effort to like erase race, like it gives me bad feelings. This does not give me hope that we are headed in the right direction. This gives me very strong fears that we are headed in a dangerous direction. This type of language makes me nervous. This type of language, I think, is very easily weaponized against people. I also just, I roll my eyes very hard at being quote unquote race neutral and colorblind. Like I thought we were over that. And I understand why some people like do think like, but Hayley, like, isn't it good that you don't see color, you know? No, it's actually not. Like, you can't sit in a room with a bunch of diverse people and pretend that everyone looks the same, you know? It's not fair.
And ignore history of how people were treated because of the way that they looked. Because, yeah.
Exactly. And also, like, what we bring in terms of, you know, our racial identities, our religious identities, our gender identities, whatever, like, these are all very important aspects of what make people, and it brings our humanity together and it helps us understand each other better. And if we were sitting in this interview and like we're just pretending that, again, like, I'm not Jewish and you're not Black, like, you know, this would be a much different conversation and it would be a boring conversation, genuinely, and we'd be missing the point. Like, this is a giant step backwards, but that, again, is what our state legislature simply likes to do. And that's all I'll say about that.
You know, I'm try to be, you know, see everyone's point of view, even as, you know, a Black person, as a person of color, and think, oh, the most positive look at this would be, it's good that that there's care around discrimination. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it struck me as, you know, James Baldwin's quote, history is not the past, it is the present. We carry our history with us. We are our history. If we pretend otherwise, we are literally criminals. Like, we are not past racism. The language that's being used, just, you know, to go off of what we've been talking about, the bill's proponents, they're using language of civil rights activists, like Martin Luther King, not being judged by the color of your skin, and also language of people who have fought for affirmative action efforts. They're using it against affirmative action. And currently, UW-Madison has been, and other universities in the system have been trying to effortfully include people of color who have had this legacy of discrimination that has kept their parents and their grandparents out of opportunities and bringing light to white privilege. So it's good that we're getting into the conversation about discrimination and how to treat people fairly. And what's obviously, frankly, scary is that they're trying to change the laws.
Yes.
And that's troubling for many people who are, there's a lot of opposition to this bill, you know, including from the Ho-Chunk Nation. We've seen, you know, UW-Madison and other universities trying to be thoughtful in how to include Indigenous folks, considering all of the legacy there of dispossession. And it's one of the measures that are coming after the UW Board of Regents struck a deal. The devil's in the details, and folks are coming out of the woodwork, including the state legislature, but also outside conservative groups and employees are now suing the UW and suing around DEI programs. Calls are coming from inside the house. So a UW Eau Claire employee filed a lawsuit over a demotion from a DEI position. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, Milwaukee-based nonprofit conservative law firm, filed a lawsuit against the State Bar of Wisconsin in December over its diversity clerkship program for law students. A conservative group challenged UW La Crosse's DEI policy for student groups. And here in Madison, the Equal Protection Project, an affirmative action litigation group under the Legal Insurrection Foundation, filed a civil rights complaint against the University of Wisconsin-Madison over a fellowship program. And that one's from an outside group that isn't local. So we're seeing the impacts of this DEI deal that was struck, and their system is getting squeezed by lawmakers and folks from outside the state and their own employees. It's a lot of pressure, and I don't know what offense if any the university can play. It just seems like mom's been the word.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous here, to think about what the future will hold. I'm very curious to see where these lawsuits go, right? I think that will be kind of a big indicator of what is to come. But these lawsuits and challenges are all coming after the UW system and the state assembly all came to an agreement over, getting rid of DEI in exchange for raises. And, people claimed it was a win. And now we're seeing these consequences happen so quickly. And it's scary. It's scary here, right? And I'm kind of curious if this is just going to come around and like bite the universities in the butt, because like you said, the calls are coming from inside the house, right? Like these university employees are suing their employers. Like it's just I don't think we're saving money here. I don't think we're saving time here. And once again, I think we're just taking several large steps backwards for no reason whatsoever. Like this was not really an issue that anyone was complaining about, except for several older white people in the state legislature who are decades out of school, So I guess they're still just feeling nostalgia for those glory days or what could have been. But I don't like that they're making it our problem.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly, here in Madison, we tend to be on the same page around affirmative action. I don't want to speak for everyone, but I've certainly, heard in other places, people who are white and feel like they're being not included and that sort of thing. And I think, this is a conversation we could go into much more depth, but when you see a lot of efforts to minimize the teaching of, Black history and, as civil rights leaders start to pass away and, are we still teaching about the Holocaust? Are we still teaching our history in this nation? So like never again, like seeing statues across Wisconsin about like World War II veterans and things that we fought for, history being taught in its entirety is very important. And it seems like a collective effort to kind of minimize the damage that was done on state level, government levels, everyone, people involved in discrimination. And the idea that that's so over and done, that needs to be fact checked.
Right. Like we are not post-race until we are all just like giant amorphous blobs like floating through space together. Like then I will hear them out on saying I don't see color and I don't see race, because sure, like if your gaseous state is the same as my gaseous state, then like we are all equal. But until then, like let's celebrate the differences, right?
Yes, I love where you took that with the air. We are going to be heading into love after this and the love that's in the air. Before we can dive into that, let's take a quick break.
Shipping can make or break a sale, so optimize how you ship your orders with ShipStation. They make it easy to automate and manage orders no matter how big your business grows. And they might even be able to help reduce shipping and warehouse costs. So optimize and keep up your momentum for growth with ShipStation. Sign up for your free 60-day trial now at ShipStation.com and use the code POD. That's ShipStation.com with the code POD.
It's February, folks. And in case you forgot, we live in Wisconsin. Although it's been an unusually warm winter, we still need to prepare for slippery and icy roads. Attorney Z. Usman with Usman Law wants to remind you of some of the winter rules of the road to help keep you safe. So remember, accelerate and decelerate slowly. Don't follow any car too closely, avoid using cruise control, steer in the direction of a skid, and don't stop when going up a hill. If you are in an accident, call Attorney Z. Usman. He's handled hundreds of insurance claims and can ensure you get everything you are owed. There are no upfront costs and no fee unless he is successful. Also, pro tip, don't negotiate with the insurance company on your own. Go visit MadisonAccidentLawyer.com to schedule a free call with Attorney Usman. Our next story is featuring Hayley's brilliant mind, and Hayley, just take it over.
I'm here. My brilliant mind is here. Your Dr. Love is in the house.
Yes.
Thank you, Bianca. So Valentine's Day is right around the corner, of course. It's February. Love is in the air, as we've said. And, people might not think of Madison, Wisconsin as the most romantic destination in the world, but I'm here to change your mind because recently I put out a call to Madison Minutes readers to tell me about their favorite Madison date night spots and some of the special adventures that they go on with their loved ones. And, again, just another caveat that date night can be with a significant other, date night can be with your girlies, date night can be with yourself. So anyways, we can take all these suggestions and run with them as you will, because truly they are for everyone. So really, whether you're looking for Valentine's Day plans or just want to spice things up a little bit, I've got some good suggestions for you. Starting off with the kind of classic, if you're looking for like a Valentine's Day first date sort of vibe, some places to go check out would be the Robin Room Lounge, which I know you are a frequenter there. Yes, we ran into each other completely separately there last night, which was so funny.
I was on a date.
Just a testament. Yeah, and was it not romantic? Was it not beautiful?
It was romantic. It was lovely. It's got good lighting.
And I was on a date with my little boys. All my boys. But yeah, so Robin Room. If you're looking for cocktails, Robin Room. Number one spot to go on the east side. But on the west side, there's also Le Tigre Lounge, which is kind of exactly what it sounds like. It is dive bar, tiger themed, I guess is the best way to put it. Yes, exactly. I've only been there once and I've just been dying to go back ever since. So anyone, if you want to hang out with me, invite me to Le Tigre. I will say yes, absolutely. The only caveat there is no swearing. No swearing allowed in the bar because we live in a proper society where we don't need to use curse words. But I get in trouble with that sometimes.
I totally forgot about that rule. I haven't been in forever, but that place is friggin' cool.
It is. It's literally like a tiger's den, right? Like it's plush and it's lush and it's dark and moody and there's just tiger print everywhere. And yet it's still a dive bar in the west side of Madison. Like it's just there. And I love it. I truly love it. Other solid places, if you're looking for cocktails too, Mint Mark, solid. Everyone loves it. Lola's now on the north side. If you can get in there, people do love it. It does have some solid cocktails. I also love Cordial. We love Cordial. We're big fans here. But if you're looking for, maybe a little daytime date adventure, something with perhaps a little bit more caffeine, we love Johnson Public House, Lakeside Street Coffee House, Ledger Coffee, and my favorite is Forward Craft and Coffee over in the Atwood neighborhood. I love them there. Their baristas are so sweet. And also, like, Forward's kind of the best of both worlds, right? Because it's craft and coffee. So they have beer on tap all day along with coffee all day, which I love for so many reasons because, like, sometimes I want a beer mosa in the middle of the afternoon. And sometimes I want a latte at 8 p.m. because we're feeling a little crazy. So that's sure to satisfy all of you and your dates out there.
It's got range.
She's got the range. We love it. Forward, she's got it all. But for those looking to get past the drinks, if we're looking for meals, of course, there are so many options out there. Some of the spots that my readers have recommended to me included Osteria Papavero, the classic. Y'all had a lovely conversation with the chef from that very restaurant, if I recall correctly.
The loveliest. I was dying, like literally halfway through, like I need food. I can't even finish this conversation with you.
I love it. So just a testament to like how good the food is. If it sounds that good on a podcast, imagine how good it's going to taste. Readers also love Bar Corlini, the classic, again, Atwood neighborhood food fight Italian restaurant. They've got solid pastas, pizzas, all that good stuff. Tornado Room, classic steakhouse. If you want to feel like you're a little like 1920s gangster, that's my favorite spot too.
Very good description.
Right? Especially when you're sitting by the bar. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. You knew what I was talking about.
Yeah. Because then it gets like a little Wisconsin supper clubby in the back.
Yes, exactly. So it's a fun vibe. And if you want to get really moody, or maybe you're a late night sort of person, 1000% Notchspiel is the spot. We love it. They're always spinning some funky music. The red lights in there give it a beautiful vibe. And I mean, the food's great. Like, truly never misses. The specials are always lit. And like, truly the 3-cup, I've definitely mentioned it on this podcast before. It's solid. It's very solid.
Yeah. Former employee here can attest. It's a happening place.
Love it. And then again, for anyone that doesn't want to do food or drinks, we've got a couple of adventures. So some people have written into me and said that they've got some daytime adventures that they like to go on. And I'll just go through a couple because I think they're really good. So Steve W. wrote in and said, the best date night spot in Madison is a Willie Street night. Grab dinner at the Weary Traveler Free House, then walk over to IO Arcade and play each other in a couple of rounds of pinball, which I love. Another one from Mel L. said, the Chazen is a great spot to take a date over and over again. There are always new places to explore, art to look at while standing close to each other, and it's naturally romantic.
There you go.
One more. This one is one that I really want to do with my friends. This is like a friend date night that I've been pushing on my girlies, and I'm like, can we please do this? So this one is from Sarah Yu. She said, our favorite date night begins at Nerd Haven Arcade. After a few hours playing pinball and games, we walk the 1,000 feet or so to Buck's Pizza to put in an order. While we wait for the pizza, we go to Jade Monkey for a cocktail. 20 minutes later, the pizza is done, so we pick it up, bring it to Jade Monkey, and enjoy while we play a game or two of darts. And I think that's beautiful.
I think that's perfect. She is a genius. Thank you so much for that layout. Holy cow. Yeah, no, I actually don't know if I've been to the Jade Monkey, and I recently looked it up and considering going.
It's a spot. I've only ever been there once, and it was very cute. They recently, did some updates in there, and it's really nice. There's honestly like a whole strip of bars down on that like Cottage Grove Road area that I think are very solid. It's a lot of like dive bars out there. There's a lot of solid restaurants out there, and now there's a lot of new housing being built out there. So I truly think that is the next area to watch. You heard it here first, folks. Cottage Grove Road blowing up.
Blowing up. It's funny, thinking about Valentine's Day, my boo asked me, it was like, I think we should do something fun. And I thought, fun? What? Valentine's Day fun? That's a good idea. And then I was like, laser tag? And then I thought, I really want to go to Sky Zone. The trampoline park by Culver's. It's like on the Beltline by Fish Hatch. Like, I only know
I know what you're talking about.
I've never been. I only know it's there because I go to Culver's every now and then when I need love. And I don't know. And now I think it's funny because the theme of today was catching some air or just being in the atmosphere with your loved one. That might be fun. Just like jumping and being silly. I think that's something, sometimes you can put a lot of pressure on Valentine's Day. You needed this, or did they get me the right flower?
The little things.
Yeah. And, I'm a psychology head, so that's why I follow this psychologists online and talking about relationships and how to make them stronger. And I feel like I heard a really good anecdote the other day from a psychologist that I follow from Chicago, who's really well respected, professor at Northwestern. And she said, it's really important to have those, serious talks. Hopefully you are not finding serious talks on your Valentine's Day, But she said that's really critical to having, you know, a good relationship. But also so are those moments of fun and levity and making sure you balance it out. All relationships take work, but, you know, showing each other the fun stuff is really key. So maybe go to the trampoline park.
Yes,
with all the
I
kids.
love it. Please go on the trampoline date and let us know how it goes. Don't hurt yourself because I will definitely break an ankle if I go there.
Yes. I think that's it.
We've brought this thing full circle. Earth, wind, fire, and mostly air.
Do you remember? Oh, Hayley, thank you for joining me for the news roundup. Appreciate you so much.
Of course. Thank you, Bianca. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. That's all for today here on CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, your host. This week, we're produced by Molly Stentz, Exandra McMahon, A.K. Almomin, Phil Circus, and me. Our theme music is by Carl Christensen. Hayley Sperling is your newsletter editor. You can always get more news delivered right to your inbox by subscribing to Madison Minutes. And if you enjoyed today's show, why not share this podcast with your sweetie or someone you like to be your sweetie? We'd love to be your love connection. See you back here Monday morning with more stories from around the city. À tout à l'heure!